Welcome to the 37th Annual Phoenix Awards, a presentation of Citizen Action of New York and its Southern Tier chapter. This event was held on October 4th in Endwell, New York at Atrio Banquets and Catering. Every year, the Phoenix Awards acknowledge individuals, groups, and organizations from our community who have worked tirelessly and often silently to create a more just and humane society. Thank you for watching.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our 37th Annual Phoenix Awards.
So for those who don't know me, my name is Kenneth. I go by Kenny, not Ken. I do not like Ken. I work at Citizen Action alongside Salka and Revo. I'm the new training director and deputy organizing director. And I love them so much, I drove all the way here from the city. So glad to be here. And I will be driving back, so yeah, clap it up for that too. Just to speak a little bit about Citizen Action currently, I'll be back up to talk a little bit more about some of the work that we're currently doing. But I want to talk about my excitement. I've been here about 3-4 months. My excitement to work with you all and specifically to work with two of my favorite people. Don't tell anybody else on the Citizen Action team, but two of my favorite people. But one of the things I want you all to know is prior to my arrival to Citizen Action, of course, you have to ask people, what am I getting myself into? And a lot of people told me a lot of different things, but they told me that the foundation of Citizen Action are people who care a lot and do a lot of work. And I think that's pretty accurate to my experiences being here in Binghamton. And so being from the city, Binghamton was just the school, the party school, or the party area that you go to for school. But it's a lot different being up here. And from spending time with Salka and Revo and going to those Thursday meetings, which are uniquely positioned midday, I have a deep love for the work that you all do, the infrastructure you all have, and the community that you all lead with. And of course, we're here to honor our honorees, but I want to turn over to Revo to talk a little bit more about Citizen Action and the people that we're going to be bringing up here. But from me and everyone else from the Citizen Action team, I want to say thank you, and I want to honor everyone in this room as well. So clap it up for yourselves. Okay, Revo, you're up.
How's everyone doing? Let's get it moving, okay? Let's come on. All right. So we're here to honor two great leaders in our community with Senator Webb and Phil Shannahan, who's the president of AFL-CIO. So I'm going to talk about Phil, but I want to talk about unions, right? Unions, we just unionized at Citizen Action. And it's made a tremendous difference on work culture and leadership, management, how we deal with each other. It's really made a tremendous difference. So we've seen that direct effect personally. But Phil is a leader in our community, and he's been knocking doors, getting the word out about unions, but also for our political champions who AFL-CIO endorsed. And that's really great, and we thank him for that. But Phil, he was just a little bit about him. He was raised in Windsor, New York, and graduated there in 2001. He then served in the United States Navy from 2001 to 2005. And in 2007, he joined the sheet metal workers and completed a 4-year apprenticeship. So since 2018, he's been involved in the Broome-Tioga Central Labor Council, first as vice president and now as president. And during his time with the Broome-Tioga CLC, the Labor Council has supported and stood with multiple local unions fighting for fair wages and proper staffing against privatization. We need to make sure we hold these corporations in check, right? And the one right that we have as workers is to unionize. So we all need to encourage and do that. And before I keep going, if folks can't stand, can everyone stand up in this room who is a union worker or who has been a union worker? And let's clap it up for those folks. Yeah. Let's clap it up for those folks. Thank you. And to those folks who are sitting, think about how can you unionize? How can you make this a possibility? Because it really makes a difference in the way you work. So more about Phil. The Labor Council hosts yearly Workers' Memorial Day service to remember workers who died on the job and advocate for safer working conditions. The Labor Council also conducts endorsements and recommendations for pro-union for local, state, and federal offices and coordinates labor and walks and phone banks. So it is my honor to introduce to you Phil Shannahan and to honor him with the Phoenix Awards tonight.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Citizens Action, for the... Oh, perfect. Even better. Thank you very much. This means a lot. 37 years that I've been given the Phoenix Award, and there's some outstanding names on that list of all the recipients, and I am so thankful, and same with the Broome-Tioga Central Labor Council, to be given the Phoenix Award this year. Myself and the Labor Council appreciates that. I just have some things I've written out. I'm going to talk a little bit like Ravo did, so I'm going to talk about myself a little more and what we do at the Broome-Tioga Central Labor Council. But I'm president of the Broome-Tioga Central Labor Council, and we're part of the New York State AFL-CIO, in which we're the grassroots level of organized labor. Coming from the state down to the local level, we're the ground, we're the boots, we knock on doors, we advocate, we do many different things. So our Labor Council represents over 2,000 union members and over 20 unions in Broome and Tioga counties. And I became involved in the labor movement when I became a sheet metal worker after leaving the Navy. And when I was in the Navy, I was introduced to the concepts of teamwork, brotherhood, and hard work. And upon returning home, I discovered unions shared these same ideals. So I really wanted to be a union member, and because it kind of coincided with each other. And so I became a union sheet metal in 2007, finished my apprenticeship, and became a journeyman in 2011. And in 2015, what really got me going into the movement was hearing Bernie Sanders speak about unions. He spoke to my international union. It really, really got me excited for unions. I was proud to be a union member, but oh my God, boy did I hit the... And other people have seen me with the Bernie campaign. It really got me involved in the community and reaching out to different members, and I'm so thankful that I did that and met so many great people. So once the campaign was over, I decided working within the labor movement was my calling. And so, like I said, I became vice president in 2018 and the president in 2021. And we've been doing great things at the Broome-Tioga Central Labor Council. And the mission of our Labor Council is to improve the lives of working people and bring social and economic justice to the workplace. We work to protect, strengthen labor laws, strive for better pay and benefits for workers, ensure civil rights for all working people, and hold corporations accountable for their actions. We also strive for greater equality and equity in the workplace and constantly implement ways to improve the health and safety of all working individuals. And we endorse political candidates with pro-union ideals and agendas, and the AFL-CIO takes endorsements very seriously. So if you are endorsed by AFL-CIO, yeah, we hold you to be, friendly with labor, and being a friend of labor, and like I said, we hold that endorsement with high. And during the political season, most of my weekends are spent going on labor walks and events and getting the word out to fellow union members about our AFL-CIO endorsed candidates. And other things that we work on, like I said, there was the Workers' Memorial Day event where we remember people that passed away throughout the year. And on average, I know in 2020, over 4,000 people have died in the United States on the job. And, we hold this not obviously to remember those that have passed away throughout the years, but also to hold safety standards accountable and to higher safety standards. And we mourn for the dead, but we sure as hell fight for the living. And that's what we do every year. And we cannot forget about the safety. We've come a long ways with OSHA, started in 1972, but we could always do better. And unions are there to hold corporations accountable and safety and all that. And so I'll close it now. Sorry. Thanks. Thank you. I'm a construction worker, so this is not my first partay, but thank you. In conclusion, I again would like to thank Citizen Action for recognizing my hard work and dedication with this Phoenix Award tonight. Thank you very much. And it truly is a labor of love. Thank you again. Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
So next, we're going to be honoring our second honoree, and Akshartha is going to be the one to honor.
Hello, everyone. My name is Akshartha. I am Senator Webb's Field Director and a member of the Citizen Action Board. If you didn't see me sitting down, I was sitting down, reading up on Senator Webb as if I don't see her every single day and have countless words to say about her. I always say that at times it all comes back to Citizen Action. It is where it all began, and it's so great to see her sitting here, right now, getting honored at the Phoenix Awards. So Senator Webb went to SUNY Broome and went to BU and is a proud alumna. And afterwards, she was a community organizer at Citizen Action, as most of us know. Let's give it up for Citizen Action, everyone. And then she went on to work back at BU, working in the Diversity and Inclusion Department. And then eventually came on to the Binghamton City Council and served for 8 years as the first Black person on Binghamton City Council, making history. And of course, Senator Webb could not leave it at that. She went on to run for state senate in 2022 as a part of her People Powered campaign, becoming the first Democrat to win that seat in 50 years, the first woman, the first Black person ever in SD 52. Can we give it a... I see her every single day making sure that our community is well served, and I cannot express how honored I am to be working with her. Let's give it up for Senator Webb.
Oh, right. No pressure. Speaking after dinner, so I heard that there's some community organizers in the house. Is that right? Is that right? Of course, we know labor is in the building. We all support labor, yes? So, I didn't write a speech because I really wanted to speak from my heart. And for anyone that knows me, you know that I always speak from the heart. So this feels like a homecoming for me. You know, as Akshartha said, I got my start at Citizen Action more formally as a community organizer, but I want to go way back before being an employee at Citizen Action. So my actual, I know Mary is going to hate me for saying this, but I have to. Give it up for Mary Clark, everybody. Hey, Mary Clark. So when I was at the ripe young age of 14, and I was participating at the time, Citizen Action had a youth employment training program that they were offering to youth in the community. And so I I didn't recall this until one day I was with my mom, we were cleaning things, and I came across this certificate for the program. And the person who signed my certificate acknowledging my successful completion of this youth employment training program was Mary Clark. So, so when I went on to work for Citizen Action, I would often, kid with Mary that it was destined that our paths would stay connected. So, and it hasn't been proven wrong yet. And so I would be remiss in this moment if I didn't thank you, Mary, Mary just has an incredible ability to see potential and ability in folks, if in any walk of life. She brings out the best in people, and she never does it seeking credit. She does it because she cares. She is truly a social justice warrior and so much more. So please give Mary another round of applause. I want us to keep that applause going because it is her fault that I ran for office in the first place. So the story must continue because when I started working at Citizen Action more formally, I started off as a volunteer. So I was working as a volunteer, and if my memory serves me correctly, it was actually Barbara Daly. Is Barbara still here? Right here. I was working, yes, volunteer recruiter extraordinaire, Barbara Daly, and also my Libra twin. I was working at Mothers and Babies Perinatal Network as a facilitator and enroller. And one day, I call Barbara I'll save my internal nickname for her, but everyone knows Barbara Daly is a big ball of energy. So she came with another volunteer to our Mothers and Babies Perinatal Network meeting and was talking about the presidential election at that time and how important it is and what was at stake. Sound familiar? For young people to get involved and for the community to get involved. And so she honed right in on me and she's like, I think you should come. So I was like, I'll check it out because again, my parents always had me and my siblings very involved in the community. So I was like, sure, I'll come and volunteer. I had never done a phone bank before, anything of that nature. And so from that point on, I'll never forget the first night I phone banked. So this is just to set context. This was the presidential election of 2004. And so that was part of the campaign at that time, and also the congressional races as well. Again, sound familiar. And so I did my first phone bank, and Mary and Barbara have an uncanny ability to make folks feel welcome and comfortable. I thought I did horrible. They're like, you did great. Matter of fact, come back next week. Does that sound familiar to everybody? I just want to make sure I'm in the right room, okay? Because there's never a no with those two. It is just a maybe later. So that's what happened. So I started volunteering, doing phone banks. I eventually got promoted and became a phone bank captain. I had no idea what that meant, but it seemed important. So they're like, what you do is going to help to impact the election. And I was like, really? They're like, yes, it is true. Because again, it wasn't just the presidential election or the congressional elections, it was the elections coming all the way down the ballot. Again, does this sound familiar, right? And so I'm lifting this up because it's these seeds that were planted in my journey that I didn't realize at the time was setting the stage for where I am today. So if you'll just continue to bear with me for a little while longer, I promise you there's a wrapping or concluding thought. So to go from being a phone bank captain, going out knocking on doors for, and subsequently after that election, numerous other candidates, local, state, and federal level, and then becoming an official community organizer at Citizen Action. For me, it was not on my 5-year or 10-year plan to run for office. I was perfectly comfortable with being behind the scenes, helping other candidates win. But at Citizen Action, that's where I learned, and that's where my passion for community and my passion for science came together, through the realm of health policy. And so I had always been trying to figure out, like, where do I kind of bring my two passions together? And so Citizen Action, not only doing the electoral work, but the issue work and bringing the two together, because they are linked, they are connected. And so that's what helped me to understand. But again, I was not thinking I should run for elected office. And I'll never forget the many conversations I had with Mary, but this conversation in particular, where she said to me, because at that time, City Council had a reputation for being very dysfunctional. Folks really thought, because again, these meetings were on public access, that it was a reality TV show, because nobody wanted to believe that public officials were conducting community business in this manner. Again, does this sound familiar? Okay. And so at the time, I was like, I don't think so. You know, I'm too young. And I knew about the financial barriers that come with it. There was also limited diverse representation of people of color, let alone women, with the exception of a few folks like my great colleague, Assemblywoman Donna Lupardo, in elected office in our community. Please give Assemblywoman Lupardo a round of applause. But representation matters, and seeing yourself matters. So again, knowing the barriers that come with running for office, I thought, you know, maybe when I'm older, I would consider it, but not Mary. Because I said earlier, a no is just a maybe for another time. So she kept, you know, dropping these seeds, and then it had a ripple effect, because other people in the community started coming up to me saying, you know, Lee, I really think you should run for City Council. And so after all of those many moments, and there was a lot more in between, I won't bore you with all those details, but after consulting with my family, I decided to run. And I wanted my run to be different. I wanted it to reflect the community that I grew up in, I was born and raised in, because that is what democracy looks like, right? And democracy is diverse. It is made up of folks of all walks of life. And I wanted my campaign that even if the outcome was I didn't win, I wanted it to reflect the community that I was born and raised in and worked in. And it was important to me. So we ran our campaign and we won. Yes. And there was a whole process to that, but again, I won't go into all the details. That's for another time. And it's a Friday, so I don't want to keep you long, as they say in some circles. But serving on Binghamton City Council, it most certainly prepared me. All these things prepared me for where I am today. So, and everyone in this room has played and continues to play a role in that. So when I talk about the work that we're doing in the state legislature, notice I said we, not me. It is because I understand the assignment, that for anyone that is a public servant, a true public servant understands that the core of that is service. Service to others, not to ourselves. And unfortunately, too many folks have forgotten that, or it was never in their plans because they were running to be somebody and not do something. But that's another sermon for another time. So for me, making that decision to run for Senate, despite a lot of odds and just so many challenges, I wanted to keep that same spirit that motivated me to run for City Council in the first place. And that's where the people-powered movement came from for me. And so in thinking about my time, my short time in the Senate, just 22 months now, been a little busy, but what is standing out the most to me in this moment is that reflecting on where I was in 2004, and now here we are in 2024, I will let y'all do the math, and what's at stake, and what is at stake now, and what I knew then, but especially what I know now, what we all know now, that what we do in the next 32 years, when you think about 37 years of a Phoenix Award and the symbolic story of the Phoenix, one of the things that always stood out to me is that not simply the story of this mythical creature rising through the ashes, right? It's the fortitude that it takes to look forward and know you are going to suffer, there are going to be setbacks, but you have to keep going forward. You have to keep going forward. And so because out of that ash, those ashes, that dirt, all of the struggle, there is a beautiful story that everyone can get to enjoy. Everyone has the opportunity to thrive. And that is what is the mission of Citizen Action. It is intended, not just in words, but through its advocacy and so much more, to ensure that every single person from every background has a real opportunity to have justice, to be seen, to be treated with dignity and respect. Those are the fundamental needs that we have, not just here in the Southern Tier, and not just in New York State, but as a society overall. And Citizen Action knows that and embodies that and instills that, not just in the staff and the board. And thank you so much. Can we give a round of applause to the staff and board members that are here? But it is in the way that they show up for everyone. Those folks that it's very easy to walk past or look over. Citizen Action knows what's at stake, and that's why we're all here. We all collectively know what's at stake, and it is our moral obligation, but more importantly, opportunity to really ensure that everybody has a better quality of life from birth. And that's what we are here to do, because we all are public servants. We all are. So, as I conclude my remarks, I said I wasn't going to keep you long. I meant that. I want to thank Citizen Action for all of the years of support and continued support that you have given to me, but to so many people that have crossed that organization's doorstep, whether it's here in the Southern Tier, whether it's in the Capital District, all over the state. I could tell you all stories of folks, prominent folks, national folks who got their start, just like me, at Citizen Action, that are leading the charge to really make our democracy live up to its promise. And so I want to thank Citizen Action for this prestigious award. I also want to thank my family. Also, I don't want to get in trouble. But I want to thank first my parents, because again, they had the foresight. They also instilled in me and my siblings that agitator spirit, and most certainly that inquisitive nature of asking, why is it that things are the way they are, and what we collectively need to do about it to really be our sister and our brother's keeper. Those values are things that I learned from my parents, who were very involved in the community, and quite frankly, I wouldn't be here without them. So I want to thank my parents, of course, my sisters, my nieces, nephews. I got a whole group of everybody, but my partner, everyone who continues to pour into me. And also want to thank my colleagues in the state legislature. I get to work with some incredible colleagues. Assemblywoman Donna Lopardo is no exception to that. I tell people all the time, if people knew half of the experiences we have in these meetings in our collective and shared fight to make sure that our community gets its fair share, like I said, I tell Don all the time, we should do a little road show to let people know. But in all seriousness, we fight hard because we know our community deserves better. And so the success that I've had in the Senate would not be possible without her support and her friendship. So I want to thank you, Donna, for being here and for your continued service. Of course, I want to also congratulate Phil. Phil, you, as I said to you before, And it is not lost on me that you are also being recognized because your compassion, your commitment to not only the labor movement, but to working families, it is exemplary. And it's important that we lift you up. So congratulations and thank you for what you do on behalf of not only labor, but what we're fighting for are things that we need, those fundamental needs. Having a safe workplace, fair wages, those are fundamental needs. And the reality is we often get frustrated because we all share that we shouldn't have to fight. It should be an automatic. But we must keep fighting. We must keep forging ahead. And so, again, I want to thank everybody for being here. Like I said, we have 32 days. We know what needs to be done in the next 32 days and beyond, because what we are fighting for and what we are fighting against, the stakes couldn't have been any higher. This fight that we are in is not just simply a fight to make sure that our democracy can live up to its promise. We are fighting for our humanity, the ability to exist. That is what is at stake. And so, in the great words of former First Lady Michelle Obama, I'm going to implore you all to continue doing something. If you have been doing it, I'm going to encourage you to keep doing it, to make sure that we support everybody that's running for office right now. So I know you're going to send me and Donna back to Albany. Is that right? You're going to send us back to Albany? We're going to keep going, right? We're going to make sure that we keep that energy going, that action going for all of our folks who are running for office locally. Can we give a big round of applause to all of our candidates who are running for office locally? Gay, please stand up. All of our folks who are running for office. Yes. We know, and also our current electeds, we know that as state legislators, the work we do has to also be mirrored at the local level, and having local partners in government is necessary and it's important. We're going to keep going. We're also going to ensure that Josh Riley also wins his election for Congress, right? We're going to keep going to the top here. Y'all still with me? We're also going to ensure that we elect Vice President Harris and Governor Walz to be our next president and Vice President of the United States. And of course, I would be remiss, last but certainly not least, we know that we as organizers, as supporters of labor, as supporters of the advancement of humankind, that for the next 32 days and beyond, we are going to ensure that not only do we have successes in these elections, but we continue to move forward in our fight for our collective progress. Thank you all so much.
Yes, lead up. Thank you so much, Senator Webb. Thank you so much for your long fight in this community. Yes. You inspire me every single day. I don't know how you do what you do. I know you're at 50 places like at once. I'm always like, Leah, you teleported here? Because she's everywhere. And I know she's always in Albany making sure that she's fighting for the people here. And also, Ms. Donna Lepardo, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the fight that you do for us in the Assembly. We really appreciate you. And with that, I would like to introduce Ms. Donna Lepardo for a couple words.
Hi, everybody. I just asked if I could say a couple of words. I've brought some recognitions for these two extraordinary leaders from the State Assembly, but if you wouldn't mind a point of privilege, back in 1986, 87, I was in the room when we came up with the idea for the Phoenix Award. I was on the board of directors at the time, and it was a way for us to recognize extraordinary people in the community who have really taken on extraordinary fights and have been exemplary leaders. And to see this list and to reflect back on 37 years of recognition, I'm just having a moment, because I think you said so many things have started with Citizen Action. I got involved with Citizen Action years ago. At the time, we were fighting, Mary, I think we were fighting high utility rates, and we were fighting the garbage burning incinerator. I mean, I got involved, and of course, to this day, the skills that I use, and Leah can attest, no one leaves a meeting without an assignment. I got that from Citizen Action. Oh, that's nice, but who's doing what? Yeah. Nobody leaves without an assignment. And just the basic skills have stuck with me all of these years. I also want to just tell you something about a fellow by the name of Duke Holdsworth. At the time we established the Phoenix Award, Duke Holdsworth was one of my best friends, and he did the artwork. He drew this Phoenix Award. He was one of these guys who did street rod art, in case you're wondering. It's got that sort of style. I just wanted you to know that, he passed away last year, and it means an awful lot to me and to everyone who knows him that his artwork lives on. His name is David Duke Holdsworth, and I'd just like a moment of recognition for him. Also, Senator, younger person than me, 2004 was the year I first ran for election, and so what you did matter, and here we are, these 20 years later, it's just a unique privilege and an honor to serve with you. So down here, hold on, I have a recognition from the citation. Leah's laughing because she sees us do these all the time, never me to you, but I brought a recognition certainly to Phil Shannahan and to Senator Webb for again, your extraordinary leadership. Phil, we can't even begin to tell you how grateful we are for your work at the Central Labor Council. These are difficult times, and you could not have a stronger supporter in the State Senate than Senator Webb, and I certainly have your back at every turn, and she and I, working together, have confronted a number of challenges, and we're always union strong, and that's for sure. And as far as Senator Webb goes, I just don't have enough time to tell you how important she is, not only to our region, but the state of New York. And working with her has just been a lot of fun, to be honest with you. She is just enormously helpful, very dedicated, very devoted. I can barely keep track of everything she's doing. Her territory is so large that she is on the road. I don't know how many miles you've put on your vehicle, 50, 70, 100,000 miles. I don't know how she does it or how the car is keeping up. But I admire her enormously, and it has given me a lot of energy and a lot of inspiration over the years. So to you, Senator Webb, congratulations, and to you, Phil Shannahan, as well. Thank you, Citizen Action, for helping me get my start.
Amazing. Oh, I'm about to knock this over. Leah, Phil, thank you both. From the bottom of my heart and from everyone in this room, I want you both to sit with why I've heard a lot about you two over the past weeks. I'm like, who are these people, right? But I want you both to sit with why it's important that we're honoring you all, because it's showing people what's possible. In a time when we live in politics and organizing, where we lead with vision and what we can do, whenever I'm speaking to someone at the door, at my house, or my community, I can tell them it already happened because I met Phil and I met Leah. So I want you to understand that that is the reason for the work that you all have done and the work that will happen because of what you all have done. Now, I have a request of both of you. I want to honor 2 additional people. Can I do that?
Sure, yeah, sure can.
So I'm a big believer in giving people flowers while they're still here. And you probably know these 2 people because they're Salka and Revo. But let me tell you a little bit about them. So they do not take no for an answer, which thank you, Mary. I really appreciate it. When I started at Citizen Action, they were the first two people I met with, because coming from organizing and coming into a space with organizing, you know, you can wait until you're told what to do, but I always just go where the work is always being done. And so I met with them by chance, actually, back to back. And both of them are two very different people, but also very intense in different ways. And they let me know at the moment I started that they needed me to do my job and to show up. Now, they're laughing because they definitely did not set me up for understanding all the intricacies, but they were very clear that I needed to do what I was supposed to do to show up for you all as members and as people a part of this organization. And so then in our meetings, in the times when I see them, that's all they talk about. The work and the things that they care about. Because while Citizen Action is great, we're not a hedge fund, so we're not paying people a lot of money. They deeply care about you all. And they deeply care about everyone here's success. And they made that explicitly clear to me, that if you're not here to show up for our members, then you might as well not come. And I think I've been doing a good job so far because I'm here. And so it was very clear to me that I need to be here, not just for this event, but to support them and be there for them because of the work that they do and the dedication that they have, the hours that they work, and the community that they build. And so I want you all to look around, but I also want Salka and Revo to look at the room to see the beauty of organizing and what happens when we create something together. Because what I need from you all is to also show up for them. We are in a moment and a time where I love these two, but it's time to get started. One thing I told them that in return for me showing up is we're gonna have a lot of fun. And I have a lot of fun with these two, but because I also deeply care about community. I'm also a little crazy because I would drive as many hours as it takes to be here. But the love that they have inspires me, it motivates me, and it gets me up in the morning because I know when I see these two and I see all of you, I'm going to be in the presence of something that I love most, which is people. And I love people. And I love them. And they love you all. So on behalf of myself, my family, because sunflowers are a familial thing for me, I grow them in my backyard, it means a lot. It's an honoring that my family does. I want to invite them both up here to give them their flowers while they're still here.
That was a nice surprise. I love sunflowers. Thank you so much. And I just want to also thank everyone here. Without you guys, this work couldn't get done. Thank you, Mary, so much. Mary's like the super OG of Citizen Action. I remember getting started as a volunteer, and I was a single mom, and my son was like 5, and I used to drag him to all the meetings, all the events. And Mary used to be like, don't worry about it, bring him to the meeting. I used to be like, Mary, I ain't got a babysitter. Don't worry about it, bring him to the event. And she just showed me and taught me that, you know, that I could be unstoppable if I was a single mother or not. Like, my passion was Citizen Action. I remember starting off when we were doing the Fight for 15. And that was very important to me because everybody deserves a living wage. And at the time, I was making a little bit above minimum wage, but I just thought it was really important that everybody showed up for that because people shouldn't have to work 3-4 jobs to feed their family. They should be able to just work one job, 8 hours, and be able to go and raise their family and be with them. And I believed in that. And
I was very passionate about it, and that was my first time in Albany, my first time at the Capitol. I didn't really know nothing about the government, and Mary taught me all of those things and how important that was, which built and fueled me to also go out and fight for people like myself as well. So me and Revolve every day, sometimes, we fight, but it's fun. We joke a lot. And Revolve is an amazing person. Like, he's done a lot, and he only been in the area for a year now? Yeah, yes. And he's been doing an amazing job. I'm sure all of you guys have met him. He has plugged himself in with people that he didn't even know. Like, I'm just so proud and happy that I'm serving with people.
Well, thank you. And folks, we aren't able to do this work without you. And just take a look around this room of all the different faces that we see. It's a diverse coalition of folks working together for justice. And I have to give Mary flowers too, because she's been giving me the confidence to keep going, improving on skills. And I mean, what a freaking legend, right? What a legend. So she hates when I say that too, and I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna get this thing on. All right. So before we go, no, you don't want me to sing. So, but before we go, I just want to talk about some of the accomplishments that we've had over the past year since the last Phoenix Awards. So, City Council.
Yeah.
6-1. I want to shout out Dan back there. Mr. Livingston, who made that happen, and the Democrats, we worked together, and we got it done. We've got bills going on right now, CO2 fracking bill, which Senator Webb is a co-sponsor for. It's sitting on the governor's desk. Encourage her to sign that bill right away. Climate Superfund, also sitting on the governor's desk with the help of Assemblymember Lepardo and Senator Webb. Encourage her to sign that bill as well. Good cause eviction, that's coming soon. That might be passed in City Council, or City Council hopefully is going to pass that law. But what's coming next is the elections, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to do the same thing again. We're definitely going to kick Mark Molinaro the hell out of office. Because we have to. We're going to elect Josh Riley. And Christine too is from Battleground, New York. She's back there. She's helping us with our canvassing program. And we're doing phones. They're not going to like that I say this, but I'm going to say it. We're going to hit, by the end of this, 100,000 doors and 200,000 phone calls. That's with Battleground New York. And that's without the great work that all of our elected officials and candidates are doing. So we're definitely going to kick him out of office. We're going to re-elect Senator Webb, of course. We're going to re-elect Assemblymember Lepardo. We're going to elect Aiken out of office. We're going to elect Rebecca Rathmel.
Yes.
And how are we going to do it? Who's here made phone calls so far? Who here has knocked doors? Okay, who here has written postcards? Pretty much everyone's doing something. So since we're organizers, I have to have a call to action. 5 of your friends, 5, and this I think Mary might say 10. So 10, we'll do 10. 10 of your friends, you're gonna get them to do something just like Michelle Obama told us to. We're all going to do something, just like we're all doing currently, but we're going to tell our friends, family, we have to do something, because really it's an important election this year. It's like no other. So let's get it done. And most of all, let's elect Vice President Harris.
Yes. Yes. And I would like to thank all of our coalition partners. Thank you to the Community Foundation. Thank you so much for supporting the work that we do on the ground. Thank you to Just. Thank you for fighting for our people that are incarcerated and supporting our families. Thank you to the NAACP. We appreciate all the work that you've done and continue doing. Thank you to Indivisible. Thank you guys for always showing up for us and supporting us as well. Thank you everyone who are Citizen Action members, everyone that's in the room. Mary, special thank you to you. We love you.
We love everybody here, and we appreciate y'all showing up for the Citizen Action Phoenix Award, and hopefully we see you again next year.
Thanks so much. Have a great night.